Impossible is nothing. Impossible is nothing.
Gotta live till the mic turns off. But now I'm here, I cannot go soft. I found myself when the rest got lost. I'll be the last one that they write off. I gotta live till the mic turns off.
It's your boy E.T. said from the bottom. Thank
so.
God it's Monday.
Found myself when the rest got lost.
Yeah, baby,
I'll be
yeah.
the last one that they write off.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy E.T. and welcome to another edition of Break It Down from the Bottom, baby. Thank God it's Monday. Man, I'm pumped. I'm excited. Why? We're in the fourth quarter. You say, E.T., man, why you pumped? Because like I've been saying, I'm going to keep saying it. You're going to keep hearing me say it. You still have time. That's right. You still got time, baby. Every dream you had in December, right? As you ended 2010 and you was getting ready for January 2011, you was pumped up about this year. Every single thing you said you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to do, guess what? We still got time, baby. It is not lost. Some of y'all thinking the year is lost. It's over. Here I am. I'm still taking that test again. Here I am. I'm still where I was in the beginning of the year. 3 or 4 years ago, I talked about it. It didn't happen. Listen to me. There's hope, but you got to believe it. Listen to me. You can't do nothing without faith. You can't do anything without faith. It's impossible to accomplish anything without faith. So I need you to believe. At some point in September, October, November, or just before the year ends in December, it's going to happen, all right? So I need you to have faith. I believe. I believe. I believe in you. That's why I get up and I come out here every morning, every Monday morning, because I believe, all right? I believe you can do it. Right? And listen to me. I'm so excited because somebody looked at me when I was a high school dropout. Somebody looked at me when I was homeless and they said, I believe in you. That although you are a high school dropout, right now you at the worst place in your life that you've ever been, I believe that this is your beginning, but this doesn't have to be your end. That just because you are currently here, this is your present circumstances, that life don't have to end for you right now. This is just, listen, let me tell you from my personal experience. This might be a page in your life. It might even be a chapter in your life, but it ain't the book, baby. You are not finished writing yet, so I need you to get busy living. Are you hearing me? I need you to get busy living. There is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning, listen to me, you still in the game, which means if you're in the game and there's still time in the game, still time left in the game, you can still win the game. All right? So we're in the zone, baby. And the thing I like about the zone, you're going to hear me use that word a lot, right? You're going to hear it before 2012. You're going to hear that word a lot. The thing I love about the zone is that once you get in the zone, your work will work for you. You heard what I said, and you're going to hear it again. Your work will work for you. Now, when you start the year off, you know you're doing your thing, you're working, but you are working. You're trying to get something going. But when you get into the fourth quarter, your work begins to work for you. All right. So I want to tell you a story. I know some of y'all think this is crazy. All right. But fourth quarter living, I want to tell you a story, a Toothpaste story, if you will. All right? Because I need you to get in the zone for me. I need you to get in the zone. And the reason why I need you to get in the zone is because zone is where maximum life is. You have not seen success yet. It's once you get in the zone. And you've heard me say it. You're going to hear me say it again. When you get in the zone, it's like running. When you run it and you get in the zone, you don't have to exert the same amount of energy you do when you first start running. All right? When you get in the zone, you're able to do things effortlessly. When you get in the zone, just stuff start happening for you that does not happen when you're not in the zone. So when I was a little kid, man, my aunt, I don't know what it was, but when I go to my aunt's house, she had this thing about toothpaste, right? And her thing was, you know, because at my house, boom, we just open it up and we just squirt. But at my aunt's house, what my aunt would do is she had this contraption at the bottom of her toothpaste. Yeah, I know, we talking about success. E.T., we talking about toothpaste? Yeah, we talking about toothpaste because we talking about success. And she would put this little plastic piece at the bottom of her toothpaste, right? And then what she would do is it would allow the tube, boom, boom. And I'm like, what is this? And what happens is she would turn it, and that contraption would turn it, and that contraption would turn it. And what I discovered at my aunt's house is that she got more out of her toothpaste than we got at our house because of the way we used it. Woo! I just dropped something deep on you. I don't know if you caught what I said, that we all live life, Some of us, we get more out of it. Right? Some of us get more out of life. We all had the same opportunities. That's right. When you wake up in the morning, I don't care what side of town you live on, the library is open to everybody. If you're young and you're in school, your school might not have the best books. Your school might not have computers. They may not have the sweetest cafeteria. But if the classroom is open and teachers are coming, you got the same opportunity that kid in the suburbs have. But you got to take it. You might have to work a little harder. You might have to start at the bottom and roll that baby up, but I'm telling you, you can have whatever you like. And what I'm telling you is, I want you to get the fourth quarter living. Why? Because you get more out of fourth quarter living. Now, 3 things you got to do, though, to get the fourth quarter living. 3 things you got to do, baby. Here's my first one. My first one is you got to know where you at. Are you hearing me? You have to know where you are, all right? If you're going to get in the fourth quarter living, you got to be honest with yourself first about where you are, all right? You got to be man. I know I don't like school. You say, E.T., you working on a PhD and you don't like school? I don't like school. So what I have to do when I go to class to get the most out of class, I've got to say to myself that each class that I'm going to, listen to me, each class that I'm going to is not about homework. It's not English. It's not math. It's more money, more money, more money. Are you hearing me? Every time I get better, my craft gets better. And so when I go to class, it's not about what he's doing on the board. Listen to me. It's not about what he's doing on the board. It's not about what she's doing on the board. That's just practice for me to perfect my skills as a motivational speaker, as a consultant. Are you hearing me? When I sat in stats class the other day, I'm listening to my man. It sounded like Greek to me. But I thought to myself, if you become a statistician, Eric, if you add to your game a statistician, Eric, you're going to take your game to a whole other level. So number one, I need you to be real with yourself. Where am I? Right? Where am I? Right? Just be real. Am I lazy? Right? Am I not motivated? Right? Am I a starter? Am I not a finisher? What am I? You got to ask yourself. You got to be real with yourself. And if you're going to get the fourth quarter living, and you got to know your limits, you got to know who you are, because once you know your limits, number 2, you can test your limits. So number 2, I need you to do me a favor. If you're going to get in the zone, if you're going to do fourth quarter living, you got to be comfortable with hitting the wall. If I got any runners out there, any fighters out there, any athletes out there, anybody that's ever stretched the limits, you know that in order to get to the zone, you got to hit that wall first. You got to hit that brick wall first. What does that mean? You got to get to a place in your life where all your strength is gone and you're no longer operating on strength, but now you begin to operate on will. Listen to me, you get to a place where it's not this no more. It's not your strength. It's not your natural strength. You are for will. And many of you, I declare right now, many of you have never gotten a will. You've never operated on will. And so you got to hit the wall. And what I mean by hitting the wall is if I run for 30 minutes, right? If I run for 30 minutes, I got to say to myself, every time you run, Eric, you got to get to 35 now. You got to go 5 more. Once I get to 30, my body say, yo, E.T., let's stop. Because the last 5 days, we did 30. We did 30, Eric. It's time to stop. We did 30 minutes, and what I got to do is I got to push it to the limits. I got to push it to the limit. I got to be willing to hit the wall. I got to be willing to get past crying. I got to be willing to get past hunger. I got to get past self-defeat, saying you can't do it. I got to be willing to get past a low self-esteem and say I deserve it. If anybody else deserves it, I deserve it. It's mine. Listen to me. You got to be willing to hit that wall. And for most of you, when you get to that wall, you give up, you quit. You got to get to the place where you can hit the wall. Listen to me, my final one, and you heard me say this one before, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Are you hearing me? You have to get to a place where you become comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm gonna show you again. Oh, I gotta show you again. I gotta show you again. You gotta squeeze it. You gotta squeeze it. My aunt said, put the contraption on and squeeze it, boy. Why? Because I need you to get every single thing you can get out of it. And I discovered that when I cut that thing open, the way my aunt does it, it's little or no toothpaste left. But when I did it the way we used to do it, it's a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm leaving you saying this. It's a lot of y'all, if you keep going the rate you going right now, when you die, you're gonna have a whole bunch left. You're gonna die with a whole lot of ideas left. You're gonna die with a whole lot of energy left. But man, when I'm running, there are times when I run and I get to the end of my run, I know I ain't done nothing. Why? Because when I finish, I got too much energy left. I got too much strength left. I'm still breathing normally. I know I hadn't put my all into it. I'm asking you to know what your limits are, all right? Because you got to be able to measure where you are, because you can't get to where you're going if you don't know where you are. You have to be able to measure where you are. But once you measure it, we got to hit that wall. Once we measure it, we got to start squeezing so we can get more out of it. And then once we hit that wall, we don't quit, we don't give up. We push a switch called will, and we start using our willpower. We go into will. Yes, we tired. Yes, we're hungry. Yes, the mind is saying give up. Yes, it's saying quit. But we cannot quit because we realize we have not reached the goal yet. This is not the goal. This is not what I dreamed about. This is not what I said I was going to do. This is what I talked about. This is not what it looks like. I got to squeeze. And then once we get past that place, once we get past that 30 minutes, or that 35, or that 40, or that 45, or that 50, and once we get into that hour with our will, we become comfortable with being uncomfortable. We no longer thrive to be in the comfort zone. We no longer place ourselves in positions that make us feel good. We no longer put ourselves in positions that make us comfortable, that gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling. Because listen here, boo, some of what you want, some of what you're trying to get ain't in the comfort zone. And so if what you want is not in the comfort zone, you got to come out of the comfort zone to get what you want. And so I'm giving you what my auntie Wanda gave me. Put a little pressure on it. Start from the bottom. Be real with yourself. Truth hurts sometimes. And then I need you to get the most that you can get out of it. Yo, it's your boy E.T. saying it ain't too late, baby. If you're still in the game, you can win the game. It ain't too late. If you're still in the game, you can win the game. And remember what I told you. I don't care what happened in your past. It's the past. I only care about your future. I don't get up here and do what I do because I want to hear that foolishness. I don't want to hear that foolishness. Don't write me about that foolishness. I don't care what happened in your past. Don't tell me about your past if it's not in context with what you're about to do in your future. All right? So forget about your past, as painful as it may have been, and make the rest of your life the best of your life. It's your boy E.T. And remember, you can have whatever you like.